All right. It is time to get serious about achieving financial independence. And that's why I'm very excited that I wanted to do a live stream because, first off, I haven't done one in a long time. And I got used to just, posting my regular video. It's already, cleaned up. It's got all the nice little screenshots. It's nice and cut. So it sounds like I can talk very fluently a little bit, but that's not really true. I always mess up when I talk. So I wanted to get a little bit out of my comfort zone and do a live stream here, mostly because of that, but also because I ended up creating something and I think it can help a lot of people. So it's exactly what this live stream is about: getting serious about getting started with financial independence. And it applies if you've already been, saving your money, you've already been investing for a while, or if you're literally brand new and you don't really know, like, or have a direction of where you want to go in how you want to achieve financial independence. So what I did was I put together a nice little audio guide, sort of like a series of mini podcast episodes. And I put that together because I think it's a way that it can just really just help guide you and you can listen to it anywhere you go. And so I did it in 10 different little episodes. And I'm just going to kind of talk about what I put together in that little audio guide. So, step one on getting started with financial independence is to understand what financial independence really is and like what kind of financial independence do you want? Because there's so many different types of financial independence. You've all heard them before: a barista FI, traditional FI, fat FI, and all that stuff. So it can be kind of confusing. And so I kind of explain what that is. And that's step one, just understanding what financial independence really is. And then step two is finding your why, because I think this is super important. If you don't have a good reason on why you want to achieve financial independence, then you might not really be able to achieve it in a reasonable amount of time, or you might get sidetracked, or you might get something else comes up and you don't really know why you're doing it, and it kind of just falls by the wayside. So that's why step two that I made in this audio guide is to find your why. It's super important. And then step three is to actually start tracking your finances. If you're not doing this already, I think it's like one of those, what's that word, keystone things that you need to be doing, just to see like what's going on, like what's happening with your finances, how much income do you have coming in, what are your expenses, where are they going towards, and all that kind of stuff. So I talk a little bit about how I personally like to do it in the audio guide, and then I say, hey, really, no matter what you do, no matter what way you track your finances, it's just important that you're doing it. All right, and then step four that I put together was making a fire goal. So I think it's important to have a goal because it's something that you're going to work towards. But I also don't harp too much on the importance of how specific that goal is, and there's a reason for that. I don't think a goal is the most important thing because everyone has goals, everyone can set goals, but really what's important, and I'm going to mention that again in a second, is how you actually, like, those steps that you actually take in order to get closer to that goal. So that's another step, but I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Step five on getting serious about financial independence is to become a lifelong learner. Because yes, there is, like, it's very simple in theory. It's very simple. Hey, you make more income, you save more of your income, you invest it over a long time period, and boom, you achieve financial independence. Right? In theory, it sounds very easy. It is very easy in theory, but actually putting it into practice is a different. It's a whole different ball game. So that's why I think that part of achieving financial independence is becoming a lifelong learner and always striving to improve in some way. And it doesn't just have to do with finances, it doesn't have to do with math and investing and stuff. So it's just getting better at life in general, I think, is why I think that becoming a lifelong learner is an essential step. And then another way to get serious is step six, which is focusing on happiness today. And this is something that I have gotten a little bit more into as I've actually been living this somewhat financially independent lifestyle. Like, I don't really tell people out loud that I'm retired, but I'm kind of retired, like, compared to the normal person. So I'll say it's important to actually focus on happiness, not just once you reach that point, once you reach financial independence and you're like, well, I no longer have to work for a living, but even while you are still, living your regular life. Because if you're on the path to FI, if you're on the path to FI, you might have 10, 15, 20 years before you actually, reach that point. And there's no point in being unhappy during those whole times. And you could actually do that to yourself. And I don't want that to happen. So that's why I put number six. Step six is actually focus on happiness today. Step seven is thinking in terms of processes and not goals. So as I mentioned before, I do have you create a goal in this audio guide. And I think that having that goal is important, but it's not the most important thing because everybody has goals, but not everyone has a good system that's going to get them to reach that goal or to get close to that goal. And I talk about the importance of having your system or having your process. And even if you don't reach the goal that you set for yourself, you can celebrate that you got anywhere close to it, right? So I think the example that I use is you set a goal for $1 million. You want to achieve $1 million of net worth, but you only make it to $750,000. If you look at just your goals and you have that goal mindset, you would fail, right? You'd be like, well, I failed. I didn't reach my goal. But by no means, by you reaching $750,000, for example, instead of 1 million, did you really fail, right? That's a huge success. So that's why I think focusing on a process when you're trying to, or a system to achieve financial independence is so much more important. All right. And then step 8 in my audio guide, I have questioning everything in life. And this one was just something kind of a little bit philosophical. Yeah, philosophical that I kind of added in there. And that is, like just by being on the path to five, this is so much different than what most people are doing. And yeah, no matter how your journey is going to go, how you want your journey to go, what you want your life to look like, you automatically are questioning some of the major things in life that we just kind of assume, or we just kind of live just because that's how things are done. So that's why I go into about questioning life and a little bit more of the philosophical, I can't even say that word, philosophical way of life. Step 9 is trying out what your life could be. So this one is a part that I added in this audio guide that I made, that where it's more like a suggestion on how I want you to try to experience what you want your life to be like, once you reach that magical point of financial independence. And the example that I use, that I give in the actual audio guide, is kind of like taking a very long staycation at home. And I think that's one of the perfect ways that you could try out financial independence, if that's what you actually want your life to be like. You have to imagine what you want to do with all this extra time that you might be getting for yourself. And if you don't know how you're going to fill that time, then if you actually did make it there, like if you actually did actually retire from work, let's say, for example, and you didn't know what you're going to do now, then you could, kind of end up in a pretty downward spiral. And I don't want that to happen. So that's why in this guide that I created, trying out the what your life could be like while you're financially independent is an important part. And then last but certainly not least, step 10 in the audio guide that I created was actually taking action. So I actually created a actual worksheet that I have that I want you to actually take action on. And the importance of that is, no matter how much learning you do, how much stuff you have going into your brain, it doesn't really matter that much if you're not actually acting on that, the good things that you're actually learning on. And so I think that taking action is super important, especially if you're trying to achieve financial independence, but really if you want to reach any goal or improve anything in your life. And that's why I'm making this live stream today. I just wanted to let you guys know that it's time to get serious about achieving financial independence. And no matter where you are on your path, if you're ready to get started, if you're ready to get serious, I want you to go ahead and just check this link out. If you would just do me a favor, I'm going to post it in the chat over here. It's going to be my website, oncashflow.com/guide. And there you can just take a look and see what I'm talking about here on cashflow. That's funny. So in the chat, it shows up like kind of weird. It doesn't show up as a link, but on cashflow.com/guide, that's where you can check it out. And if you actually go on that link, you will go ahead and see this page right here, little bright on there. But basically, that's my cover that I made for it. And you'll just see on there the audio guide. And I'm going to actually, to celebrate just putting this out, just for all of you guys to see, I'm going to be putting out a promo code for it, 20% off, and I set it to only be 1 week only. So if you're interested, you can check out the page, and if you want to get 20% off, if you're interested in just buying it, you can go to that link and put in "Get Serious," and that'll be 20% off. And like I said, I set that code to be up for only 1 week only.